We have got Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Gootkin on the line with us, and I know his time is short, so we're just going to dive right into this, Sheriff Gootkin. We appreciate your time today, too. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to everybody.
So you were at that meeting yesterday with the health department. As the sheriff of Gallatin County, do you have any affiliation with the health board at all?
No, not at all. They're actually an autonomous board. My only role there was I wanted to actually comment just to talk about if they decide to mandate masks, how that would affect our office. And then, just keep the peace and make sure that everybody was peaceful. And so that's the reason why I was there, and we had some of our folks there.
So you wanted to talk about how it would affect your office. Do you want to talk about that now?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to. I stuck around afterwards and answered some questions and really said to the folks there what I plan to tell the health board, and that is that we have 42 deputy sheriffs. You have 42 deputy sheriffs in the sheriff's office that are dedicated to the patrol division, and we cover an area twice the size of Rhode Island with 42 deputies. And so that is from West Yellowstone to Sappington to Sedan to Modlow. And we cover everything from domestic abuse to motor vehicle accidents to our mental health calls are up, and all the way to, the torture and murder of that young boy up in West Yellowstone. So those are the things that we have to focus on. And with those limited resources, that's just what I wanted to try and explain to the people.
So at yesterday's meeting, you were there. Why was it canceled? Can you tell us exactly why?
Yeah, so there were a couple of things. First off, there were too many people in the actual room, according to the health officer and the health board, Matt and those folks. And then also, there were probably 3 or 4 folks that just would not. They were angry and they wouldn't let anyone else talk. So it was really unfortunate because I stuck around. I talked to a lot of folks, and I had numerous people come up to me and just say how sorry they were. Number one, about the way that those very few people acted, but more importantly, that they didn't get a chance to voice their opinion. So
for the people who stuck around after, what was said after the meeting when you stuck around?
It was very civil, actually. It was, I asked everyone, what we've forgotten in this country is how to respectfully disagree with one another. And so I just said, if we're going to sit here and have this conversation, and I have no problem having this conversation, we need to be mutually respectful of one another. And everyone was. It was one at a time. People asked their questions. I answered them. They may not have been happy with the answer, but at least we could have that civil conversation. And hopefully I answered some of their concerns and some of their questions in reference to the sheriff's office. And I'm really trying to focus on that's my role. I'm trying to stay in my lane. And so I try to really focus. I don't try to focus on the virus or the health department or the health officer or any of that. All I try to explain to people is how this world is affecting your sheriff's office and how that affects you.
So as the Gallatin County Sheriff, if they implement a mandatory mask policy for us, is that legal?
It is, and that was one of the big questions. And people get frustrated and they say, well, you took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, and you're damn right I did. But I also, in that same oath, took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana, which includes Montana state laws. And I can't pick and choose which laws we choose to enforce and obey. So now that doesn't mean that we can't have discretion. We don't write tickets for every single person that's speeding or has expired registration or things like that. But that doesn't mean that we're not enforcing those. So that's something that I really tried to explain to folks yesterday.
So how do you enforce it? If they do go to mandatory masks and somebody doesn't have one on, will you enforce that?
So I told this yesterday, from day one, this has been about education. We and the police chiefs, we've all agreed that if we get a complaint, we go out, we talk to both sides of the story, just like we do any other complaint. If it's a business, we're going to talk to the business owner or the manager. We're going to talk to the people that are complaining. And since day one, we have not had to, and we haven't written one citation, and there's absolutely no one going to jail. We need those jail beds for bad people.
So does that mean that people will be calling in and reporting businesses or people and individuals to you guys?
Well, that's one of the concerns that I wanted to bring up yesterday at the meeting was I've met with the 911 director, and we absolutely have a concern that people are going to inundate our 911 center with calls because even if the health office has their call center and the people call there, more than likely they're going to refer them to us anyway because they're not the enforcement piece. So, that's one of our concerns that we just wanted to voice and make sure that everybody was aware of that, if this goes down, absolutely don't call 911. This is not an emergency. We have people that are hurt, motor vehicle accidents or domestic abuses. Those are the emergencies that 911 is for.
How does it work for a business? So, like, if somebody goes into a business and they're not wearing a mask and they let them stay in that business, are they in trouble?
That's, I think that's something that we would refer to the health officer and the health department and have them talk to the owner and the manager and try and figure it out. And that's what we've been doing, even with the social distancing. And Dave and Allie, it's really worked well. I mean, for the most part, everyone has been very cooperative.
Well, that's good to hear. And I feel for you guys because, I mean, you're kind of in the middle of all of this. And so I don't know how you walk that.
Yeah, I just try and stay in my lane, and sometimes my lane swerves, and it's difficult. But the cool thing is I got to tell you, we have great people here. We live in an awesome community, and even during and after yesterday, I had so many calls, emails. My mom texted me from Connecticut, and she was like, I'm 50 years old, and she texts me and says, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, Mom. Yeah, and then my daughter texts me, and she's worried about me, and she told me how proud she was of me. But, we live in a great place. We have great people, and we just need to work together.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing and also what your department is doing. A final question for you. What about masks for you guys? Are you guys wearing them already? Are you supposed to? Do you have to? How does that break down?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I've had that asked of me, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about yesterday because I need to make sure that people know that I cannot take the discretion away from our deputies and detention officers. And here's the reason why. It has nothing to do with disrespecting the health department rules or any of that. Our business in law enforcement is communicating with people. And whether it's a suspect, victim, witness, we have to be able to effectively communicate with people. And a lot of that communication is nonverbal. And many times, especially with offenders, when we're interviewing them, they tell us more by their facial expressions than they do by their words. And that's something that citizens don't understand. And the other part of it is detention officers. When I have one detention officer in a pod with 50 inmates, he or she has to know everything that's going on in that place to make sure that they are safe and everyone's safe. And you can't effectively do that having everyone with masks on. And I don't expect the public to understand that, but I just want to make sure that they understand my reasoning on not mandating that our officers and deputies wear masks 24/7.
Now, if masks are mandated, how does that work with conceal carries for the public?
So it's actually, that's a great question, Allie. I've had people ask me that as well. In other states, that's actually part of their law. In Montana, it is not.
Okay, good to clarify. Thank you.
So, again, just so we're clear, if you're concealed carry, you can't have a mask on here in Montana. It's Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Gootkin. Thanks for your time today, Sheriff. We really appreciate it. And again, we support you and other law enforcement. And you know what? Be safe out there. And anything we can do for you, please reach out.
We are here for you.
Yeah.
I know you guys are. Thank you, and have a great day.